Good evening. My name is Rustom Tavitian, Civil Engineer 2 and Project Manager for the City of Glendale's Public Works Department, Engineering Division. I would like to welcome you all to the community meeting for the Maintenance District 6 Pavement Rehabilitation Project Phase 2, being called to order on October 30th, 2024 at 6:03 p.m. This meeting is open for in-person attendance and is also being streamed live on www.youtube.com/myglendale. A copy of today's presentation will be available on the project webpage at www.glendalepwprojects.com, where you can browse the current projects link and click on the Maintenance District 6 Pavement Rehabilitation Project Phase 2. We welcome public comments and questions after we present a brief project overview. If you are attending in person, please submit a speaker card located at the back of the council chambers to share your comments and questions. If you are viewing remotely, you may call 818-937-8100 to provide your input. All public comments and questions related to this project will be recorded and responded to separately on the project webpage following this meeting. Without further ado, we have prepared a few presentation slides and details to share with you all tonight. Today we'll be discussing the following key meeting agenda items. This will include the project scope and background, construction phasing, major improvement details, project impacts and mitigation, public notification for construction, as well as construction schedule, and lastly, questions and comments at the end of the meeting. The project scope will include improved walking areas and street surface, the installation of new curb ramps meeting current federal ADA requirements, as well as removal and replacement of damaged or non-ADA infrastructure, new striping and pavement markings, sewer repair and lining, and finally, planting of new trees throughout the neighborhood. As you can see in this project location map, these are the streets that will be included as part of the project with the various types of pavement treatment. Construction will be completed over 6 phases as outlined on this following slide. Phase 1 will include concrete improvements. Phase 2 will include asphalt pavement replacements, followed by street resurfacing, which is typically grinding and repaving of the street. Phase 4 will include utility adjustments to new finished grade. Phase 5 is the installation of traffic striping, signing, and pavement markings. And finally, Phase 6 will include tree planting. The concrete improvements will include repairing damaged sidewalks, curb ramps, alley aprons, driveway aprons, curb and gutters, as well as cross gutters. Asphalt pavement replacements will be completed over the 3 criteria, such as base failure, potholes, as well as pavement damaged by tree roots. A couple of the pavement treatments that we have identified as part of this project include ARAM System 1, which is a 2 one-day process, which includes installation of ARAM on top of the existing surface, followed by installation of slurry seal. On this slide, you can see the installation of ARAM System 1 completed over 3 steps. This typically includes the installation of the intermediate layer on day 1, and day 2 will be the installation of slurry seal. This is concluded by the final striping and pavement marking. ARAM System 3 and street resurfacing is typically a 1-week process, which includes grinding the existing asphalt concrete pavement, placing an intermediate layer, and this will begin a new service life for the pavement. ARAM System 3 and resurfacing is typically completed in 4 to 5 steps, with ARAM, with the removal of the old asphalt in step 1, and the installation of an intermediate layer included as part of the ARAM System 3. Step 3 will include installation of the final asphalt layer, as well as compacting the asphalt and the final laydown of striping and pavement marking. Traffic striping will include installation of new signing and replacing existing striping throughout the neighborhood. Also included will be the refreshing or refurbishing of painted curb markings, such as red curbs. As part of this project, we will be planting 96 new trees per the city arborist recommendation. And you can see the listed species on this slide. A few examples include Coast Live Oak and Engelmann Oak. Some of the project impacts you may experience during construction will include the resurfaced streets may temporarily be closed during construction. The contractor will notify residents and businesses in advance, which we will outline in the following slide. Street parking will be restricted in work areas. Construction may be allowed on Saturdays if necessary. And lastly, construction equipment and materials may be stored on the street. As part of the contractor's mitigation plan, the road will be open and parking will be available during non-working hours when feasible. The contractor will provide alternate traffic routes and maintain access to driveways as much as possible. Street closure will be limited to the immediate work zone. Curbs, gutters, sidewalks, and driveway aprons will be constructed on one side of the street at a time. And lastly, the contractor will provide flaggers for traffic control where required. The public notification process includes today's community meeting, which will be followed by with a city update to the city website, as well as a bid advertisement process pending council approval of the project. Once the city obtains a favorable bid, the project is therefore awarded, and following that will be a director's letter 1 or 2 months before the start of construction. A 2-week door hanger will be provided 2 weeks before the start of concrete improvements, and a 3-day door hanger will be followed therefore shortly after before concrete improvements. And finally, the 3-day door hangers will be provided for pavement improvements in the last phase. Construction is anticipated to start in May 2025 with an end date of November 2025, barring any unforeseen conditions. With the conclusion of this presentation, I would like to thank all of the attendees and viewers joining us remotely for the community meeting for the Maintenance District 6 Pavement Rehabilitation Project Phase 2. As a reminder, please make sure to visit our department and project webpage at Glendale at www.glendalepwprojects.com, as further details on this project will be posted there shortly. Now we would like to welcome our viewers to provide comments and questions regarding this project. To do so, please submit your speaker card to Ms. Ania Oganessian and approach the podium when called upon. Or if you are viewing this meeting remotely, you may call 818-937-8100. That's 818-937-8100. As a reminder, each caller will have 2 minutes to ask their questions or provide their comments. We will time the speaker or caller, and we will inform you when your time is up. We ask you to be mindful and courteous of the time limit, with this time limit. With that being said, we will take our first speaker card, if there are any. Thank you. Seeing we don't have any speaker cards, are there any callers on the line, Ms. Oganessian?
There are no callers at this time.
All right, thank you. We'll give the callers approximately 5 minutes before we conclude the meeting. Thanks.
Carl, you are now on air. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you for holding this meeting, and I appreciate it. Question is, on the map that you showed the different streets, specifically the Santa Rosa Street and then the cross street of Hermosita, could you explain? Thank you. Thank you for holding this meeting. I appreciate it. Question is, on the map that you showed the different streets, and then the cross street of Hermosita, could you explain specifically what will be done based on the color scheme?
Thank you for your question. I believe it was hard to understand over the phone, but I believe you're referring to Hermosita between Santa Maria and Country Club, the location in orange?
Will be done based on the color scheme.
Yes, so as specified, the ARAM 1 system will include a Type 2 slurry over intermediate layer of ARAM.
Between Santa Maria and Country Club.
And the ARAM 3 will include asphalt rubber hot mix over the ARAM layer. And this typically includes the grinding of the existing pavement before putting down the ARAM system. And the blue color scheme, as you can see on the map, which is the overlay, consists of grinding the existing pavement and installing new hot mix asphalt. And I hope that answered your question. Thank you.
Again, viewers, if you want to call in for a question or a comment, please dial 818-937-8100. Chris, you are now on air. You have 2 minutes.
Oh, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Lucas, and I live on Santa Rosa, and that was my neighbor Carl, who just spoke for the first question. Thank you for holding the meeting, and it's quite clear. Oh, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Lucas, and I live on Santa Rosa, and that was my neighbor Carl, who just spoke for the first question. Thank you for holding the meeting, and it's quite clear. Oh, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Lucas, and I live on Santa Rosa, and that was my neighbor Carl, who just spoke for the first question. Thank you for holding the meeting, and it's quite clear. Oh.
Chris, can I have you please mute the meeting on your end? We're getting a double.
I just realized.
Thank you.
Should I start over?
Go ahead.
Okay, I can go now?
Yes.
Okay.
Please mute the meeting on your end. We're getting
I just realized.
Thank you.
Okay, now is this good?
Yes, we can hear you. You're on air.
Okay, thank you. Thanks again for having the meeting. Okay. Maybe I'm not muted. Okay, now is this good?
Yes, Chris, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thanks again for having the meeting. Okay. Maybe I'm not muted. Oh. What? Sorry.
Chris,
Here, I'll step away. I guess I'm having a problem. I'll step away from my computer and just ask. Okay?
yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Just quickly, when you were talking about the driveway aprons, is every driveway going to be redone?
Thank you for your question. The driveways that will be repaired are the ones that are non-standard or they are damaged that will cause a tripping hazard. So not all of the driveways will be repaired. Those in good condition and are per the city standard will be kept in place.
Okay, thank you. And thanks again for holding the meeting. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Take care.
We'll give our callers another 2 more minutes before we end this meeting. Thank you. Seeing that there aren't any more callers, we would like to conclude this meeting. And thank you for joining us, and thank you to the callers that called in and voiced their comments and questions. And we can post my contact information for the project and our public outreach, as well as our project website page. Thank you.